I'm here with Santiago Giraldo, the CFO of Tecnoglass on NASDAQ, that's TGLS. Santiago, congratulations. You guys just closed on a $300 million US credit facility. So first, congratulations, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about the motivation behind that financing package.
Yeah, we're very excited with the outcome. It was definitely a transformational transaction for the company. If you look at the way that we were being financed before, and what we're going to be able to do with this facility moving forward is day and night, really. I mean, we're going to save about $11 million of interest on a yearly basis, which is a substantial amount. And the driver was really trying to get more to be seen as a US-based company, right? I mean, I think we were being financed as a LATAM company, but the reality is that Tecnoglass does over 90% of its business into the US and is a growing part of the business, and it could become 95 over time, I don't know. But the idea behind this new structure was to basically be able to approach existing and new relationship banks with the idea that Tecnoglass should be able to finance itself in the same way as its US-based peers, right? And I think it was a very successful outcome, seeing that 5 new US and European-based banks were able to recognize that and were able to recognize our competitive advantages and what we're doing, even in a very difficult time. So that was the main driver, and as a result of that, we're shaving off 450 basis points out of our financing costs, which is great.
No, I think it's a real vote of confidence. I saw that BBVA is the lead, and then you've got ING Bank, you've got Citizens Bank, which is a U.S. bank. Sabadell is taking part of it. So I do think that speaks to investor confidence. Now it's in 2 parts, right? There's a revolving part and there's a term loan part of that, right? How's that structured?
Right. So our outstanding debt right now is about $240 million. So what we're thinking about doing is taking out all the non-bond debt, which we have about 30 million or so, and we're going to do that at the end of this month. And then when the call premium on the bond falls off or falls down in January, we're going to take out the bond. So there's going to be two draws on the term loan, and that's going to total about 250 million with some cash going to the balance sheet. And then we're going to have a 5-year committed 50 million revolver, which is not something that you typically see with LATAM corporates, to have a committed revolver. But, given everything that we just saw happening this year, I think it makes perfect sense to have that financial flexibility, to be able to have that pocket of money to tap into on a committed basis. So right off the bat, we expect the revolver to be unfunded, the term loan, refinance everything, but we're going to have that extra $50 million facility in there for working capital needs, for CapEx, or if any other kind of one-off strategic transaction were to take place.
Smart. And speaking of that, I noticed that you guys also were able to close on a land parcel, and you were able to do that with really no, obviously no bank financing, but no cash as well. You were able to do kind of an innovative structure to that transaction, right?
Yeah, so that was the last piece of the Saint Gobain transaction. We were also excited to complete that. If you recall, we did an equity raise last year where we raised about $35 million, and there was land contribution that was pending. So we were able to do that in exchange for shares as opposed to cash. The sellers wanted to take shares as opposed to cash, given how we view that the shares are very undervalued right now, and there is still kind of a lot of upside to them. And hopefully, as we complete this refinancing and report results moving forward, we're going to see these shares kind of coming back to where they need to be. But that was the driver. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, on an absolute basis, we're going to be able to save that cash to reinvest in the business, and we're able to to do these at attractive terms for the company, because if you look at the price of the shares that were used to pay for that land, they were issued at a 33% premium over the closing price when the transaction took place. So it was an attractive for the company.
No, it sounds like not only a win-win situation, it preserves cash flow. It reminds me of in the U.S. where we would see a lot of creative financing, but it also speaks to that confidence, not just, the financing packages speaks to international investor confidence and U.S. investor confidence, but then to be able to close on a deal like that, it speaks to even local investor confidence. And I think that there's a lot more awareness of Tecnoglass locally as one of the largest companies in the country, but still with your growth prospects being in the United States and still having a relatively small part of the market, the upside potential is really large. So yes, you guys have an earnings call coming up. Looking forward to that. I know that you don't want to let anything out of the bag before the call, but we are looking forward. People can go to tecnoglass.com. The mistake I used to make at first was I would put an H in there, but it's Tecnoglass, or people can just look up TGLS,
Yep.
which is traded on NASDAQ. Am I correct?
Yep, that's absolutely correct. More to come on the call, and we'll talk soon after that so we can review performance for Q3. Appreciate the time.
Great. Thank you very much.